Good morning. Happy New Year, everybody. Today is January 3rd. I hope so far, it's only a couple days in, I hope it's been good so far. My name is Marty Forrest. Excuse me, my website is helloextraordinarylife.com. I am a life coach, a relationship coach, a mentor coach. I have a 6-week program that will be starting. I picked a date, January the 20th, 8 a.m. It's a Saturday morning for 6 weeks. It'll actually go 7 weeks because I'll have a break in the middle when I'm out of town. But it will be an hour every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, and then I'm going to figure out another day. So I'll have 2 concurrent programs running. So if a morning doesn't work for you, we can do an evening. So check that out on the website. It's a journey into loving yourself from the inside out. And it's a mentor program, so it's a group of us, usually 5 to 7. Small groups, so you get individual attention and some coaching on the side. I do a check-in call, and I'm available for you. If you struggle, you get a workbook and questions to answer in your workbook, and then we have a conversation every week that sheds new light on things that we've looked at in old ways, and that will help us to make it a little lighter and a little more fun when we start digging into what's happening in our world and how we are the way we are. And the one-on-one coaching is for those of you that really want to get on a fast track, maybe, and working together one-on-one because you need more individual coaching about reprogramming the negative self-talk, moving your life in a direction that you really want to go in, and getting out of the stuck places, the places that feel stuck because we don't know how to change how we are, and doing things different. I like to move away from the word change because most of us get charged about that and talk about let's do it different. Let's find new ways to collaborate together to create a path that works for you and serves your life. And today we are talking about, we're carrying on. Last week we talked about, if you didn't listen to last week, you can go back and listen to that on the recording. All the recordings are on the website. They also come out on Facebook, on the closed group, Loving Yourself from the Inside Out, and an email. So there are several places you can receive the recording if you haven't listened to it last week. And it was about choosing the word, setting an intention for the year versus creating goals and resolutions. And today I wanted to talk about, I'm going to cap a little bit about why goals and New Year's resolutions often set us up to fail. We sabotage ourselves because we don't know how to do things different, and we're coming from a place of lack. When we set a goal, it's usually a goal because we don't have it in our life. And what do we focus on? We focus on not having it, and we keep perpetuating not having it. And then when we don't feel like doing it, our feeling rules, because it takes like 5 seconds to talk ourselves out of it, and we don't feel like it, and then we start to sabotage. We get on a roll in the beginning, go work out to the gym every day, and then all of a sudden I'm too tired, I'm too busy, I don't have time today, and then the next day, the same thing. And then we're not going anymore. Now we've got this commitment paying for the gym that we're not using. And that's been my life, and I think that many can relate to that. And today, if you've picked your word, set your intention for the year, then it's about living into that. Instead of choosing a goal from a place of scarcity and lack, I need to pay off my debt. What am I focusing on? I'm focusing on my debt. And what if the word is abundance? Then we find ways to live into the abundance versus living into the paying off my debt. What does setting an intention produce for you? We were talking before we started the recording about being powerless. I'm powerless in my life. Well, we're not really powerless. Well, what's the opposite of that? And then we came up with other words that were power. I forgot what you said, Nancy. I remember power and control, and still kind of lends to that negative charge that we carry to those words. Whether it is or isn't, it's what the meaning we give them. Then I asked the question, what if it's really about acceptance? Accepting my life on life's terms. Yes, there are things I am powerless over. But when I come from a place of acceptance, then I heard Nancy say, then I feel freedom and I feel joy and I feel more excitement and so much more positive, lighter meaning to the word of acceptance. How do you begin to implement this? Sometimes it's just being present to it. We pick a word. My word for this year is create. And I look at my life and I look at what's in my life and what's happening in my life. And I can see what I'm creating. What are the kind of people that are in my world? What are the kind of jobs I have? What's my perception when I'm driving down the road and someone cuts me off? What am I creating in my thoughts and my words behind it? And when I'm heading down that path of a place that doesn't make me feel good, then I redirect it. Because I'm present to what am I creating. So it's a word, create, creator. Meaning I'm the creator of my world. If it's acceptance, then I'm in acceptance of my life and how it is. Does that mean it's always easy? Absolutely not. Because what I've learned is that I've chosen a word. I chose the word acceptance a couple of years ago. And what showed up for me were all the various many, many ways that I was not that. How I was not accepting. Rather than judging that I was not accepting, I learned how to accept the places I wasn't accepting, because that allowed me the space then to move into accepting those things. Mm-hmm. We've pre-paved our life with non-acceptance, with that place of feeling like a victim, which lends to that word of powerless. That's what I heard when you said it. So when I'm coming from that place, that heavier place, rather than accepting, it's I lost my train of thought. I was actually talking about how we've pre-paved our path of powerless, victim, not feeling in control, not accepting life. We've pre-paved it because this is how we've been. It's how I've been my whole life. Even in the process of transforming my life, I've pre-paved certain ways and certain things because of how I am. And now I've declared, acceptance is my word. Creator is my word. There's more behind that, of course. I have some goal in mind. I have some avenue I'm traveling of how I want to create my world and what I want to accept in my world. I'm using those two because we're here on this call together. I know someone else had accountability. So how do I set myself up to continue that road and setting that intention? Keeping it in the forefront of our mind. I'm the creator of my world. Acceptance is key. Accountability helps me be successful. There's always more to it, but when I hold the one word, it's then I'm in a place of allowing myself to receive what it looks like and how it is and how I can make it different. The one word can seep into my consciousness because there's a lot of unconscious things that show up when we make goals. And the unconscious part that's been programmed that we're not even aware of. The unconsciousness is the program that we've had our whole life. Now we pick a word and we allow it to seep into that unconsciousness. Now it's going to show us those places that we're not that. And allow us to move into that. It seems like a paradox. It seems kind of counterintuitive. But by picking a word and living in the word, some people have maybe perseverance. Some people have courage. Some people have strength. Because it's a word that we want to be focused on to live into in our life more fully. It doesn't mean we're not doing it. It means we want it to be more fully. So we're actually coming from a place of being able to receive it and getting in alignment with it, rather than the goal that's a goal about something we don't have yet. Is that helpful? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. My word, creator. I may post it in my bathroom. I may post it, put it on my phone, put it someplace that I'm going to see it if I'm not remembering it. You know what? I can't remember the word I chose. I chose the word last year. 2 years ago, I can remember acceptance. But last year, I can't remember the word. For the life of me, I've been trying to remember it because I don't want to, want to stay safe. I want to tell you I can't remember my word from last year. I can. I remember hiring a coach and getting my business going, and I was still working through the grief of my dad crossing over, and I'll be darned, I can't remember that word. But it's usually a word that resonates. Like I kept thinking it was about trust, and it was about jumping and taking that leap of faith. And I was in the shower one morning before the call last week, and I was thinking about creating my life and how I'm creating my life and how I'm creating my business and how I'm creating, and that word just went bing. Oh, I'm creating. What am I creating? That's my word. So it's usually something that just kind of like it just pings for you, depending on where you're at in your life. Like I know for you, Nancy, it's acceptance, because there are places we feel powerless, but it's really about accepting what is so. I know for someone else, it was she talked about wanting to be more fulfilled in her life because she's been through a lot of grief and caretaking, and so she wants to get filled back up. And it was picking the word accountability, because it's not necessarily about for her getting as filled up as it is about being accountable to doing the things that lead to that. And that's going to show up everywhere. It's not one specific thing in my life that I'm accepting or I'm creating. It's everything. That's where the intention is. It helps me to live into that way of being a creator, being accepting, being accountable. The doing is the action behind it. And I just went, okay, well, I think I'm done right there. That was like just a cool stopping point, apparently. Sometimes, I just was looking at what I had written. Sometimes it's the opposite of what we think. Like when you said powerless, that didn't leave you feeling good. Mm-mm. So usually it's going to be a word that gives us the intention and the strength and the excitement to go forward, and to not hold on to what we think it's going to look like. I have no idea what my life's going to look like by January 3rd of next year. Not exactly. I have some thoughts about it, and I have a direction I'm going. But when I'm living into the word creator, that's bigger than me, and that's bigger than any direct goal that I could set coming from a place of scarcity or lack. Yeah. So picking your word, keeping it in your space, and then just acknowledging it, watching and observing how it's showing up. And if it's not how you want it to be, because all the stuff that we've pre-paved is being cleared out, that's why it's showing up, is to be cleared out. We're seeing all the ways that are contrasting often to how I'm not accepting. I'm using that because it's familiar, because I chose that word. So I saw the ways I was not accepting. And rather than sitting in the place of, oh, I'm still not doing it, I just looked at it and went, oh, there it is again. How can I be different here? Right? It gives my brain a different way to engage rather than our familiar constant judgment or opinion or not good enough, whatever that is. Give your brain something else. Oh, there it is again. Oh, there's that way I prepaid it and I'm not accepting. How can I be different now? How can I accept it? It gives a totally new flavor, and it gives your brain something else to do besides sabotage. How you're not doing that right or acceptable. Get it engaged in a new way. And then at the end of the year or each day or at the end of each day, we look at how I did it, how I didn't, how it showed up, and tomorrow we start over. Or at any moment in the day we start over. It's your choice. So I thought I was done, but apparently I had more to say. So it's we have about 5 minutes left, so I will stop there and give you that opportunity to share what you got, what resonated for you, what you're taking away.
Well, I like I'm going backwards up to the, if you need to start over. I like that because at any moment, and sometimes you feel like after you sleep, you can't start over until the morning. And in reality, you can start over at any point in your day. And I like that because sometimes I feel like I can't start over till the next day. Give your brain a different way to engage. Oh, man, I for myself and my family, I'm going to share that as well because I hear frequently from my family members that I've always been like this. I'm not changing, and I can't. But we can. And so I will try to share that in a non-confrontational way. Stop holding on to what you think it should look like. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I picture an outcome, and when it's not there yet, I feel like I haven't reached my goal. And honestly, maybe I have in that, and maybe I should move on to something else because I've reached my goal for that particular thing, but it's not looking like I planned when I started it. So, yeah, I need to just stop holding on to what I think it should look like. That way, when I've reached it and it feels that way, I can let it go. And that's it for me.
I love that. I love that. Stop pressuring ourselves to do the same thing. That definition of insanity. We do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. So when we give our brain a new way to get engaged, and it's not always easy to remember. That's why setting a word for the year I liked better because I can engage in the word. So when I'm failing at going to the gym every day or getting my ass off the bed to go walk in the morning, I'm not doing it. I'm still not doing it. So I just, one day I went, I'm not doing resolutions because I fail miserably every year, and that doesn't feel good. Setting a word, an intention to be the creator of my life, be intentional about creating my life and paying attention to my thoughts and what they're producing and how they make me feel, gives me a more positive direction to live into than, I want to get in shape. Well, I have a shape. I may not like it very much, but I have the shape. And what does that mean, getting in shape? So there's all kinds of stuff that we attach. And I know behind my word, I have some things in mind that I'd like to do this year. I know with the woman that was on the call last week talking about being accountable, I know she has something behind that. But that accountable word is going to help her fulfill it in ways that she couldn't have seen in a goal. For you as acceptance, you're going to be able to accept things that you never even thought possible if you were to stick it in a goal format. Because there's still things behind it. And the action behind it is to just be present to it. And then give your brain that question, how can I do this different? And observe. Just saying them over because it helps to hear it repeatedly. Observe how you are and how you're not. And look for the wins. Always look for the wins and always look for the successes because we're really clear about how we're not things, how we aren't measuring up or aren't doing it. So remember to look for what you did do. And capitalize on that one thing. If it's one thing today about acceptance, capitalize on it and build the feeling and the energy behind it. And then tomorrow, keep focusing on those things. We can acknowledge what isn't, but focus on the what is and what is happening right, how you are accepting. Keep building that. It'll bring more, and you'll see more. It's retraining our brain. Thank you for being here.